أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله وعلى آله وصحبه ومن تبعه وولاه وسلم تسليما كثيرا. أما بعد، إن شاء الله we continue with our book of الطب الروحاني by الإمام ابن الجوزي رحمه الله تعالى. Last time we talked about the disease of الشره or excessive love or having a penchant or addiction to a worldly thing. In spirituality, it is good, but in physical and material things, it's not. Even in halal, whether it is in food, sleeping, drinking, halal and drinks, sexual intercourse, collecting money, loving the luxuries of life, clothing, housing, rides, all of these excessiveness in all of these things not desired. Today we talk about رفض رئاسة الدنيا. رفض رئاسة الدنيا يعني rejection of authority in this dunya, leadership. رئاسة الدنيا يعني not leading salah, that's not what we're talking about here. We're talking about رئاسة الدنيا يعني to be a leader in the affairs of life, affairs of dunya. هذه الإمارة والولاية, people to become an amir or a leader of this dunya affairs, administration يعني. Ibn al-Jawzi said you need to know that by nature, by default, nafs, the human self, the human soul, the human self يعني, likes to be above, likes to be praised, likes to have the authority, likes to be listened to, likes to have this authority over others. Why? Because it can enjoin and can forbid, can order, can prohibit. That authority in itself, that power in itself, something desired by the human being. Even though this is needed, Ibn al-Jawzi said, it has risks. One, the least of it is that you are going to be relieved from your post one day, whether retire or terminated or anything like that. And you're going to struggle with that. You're going to suffer with that. After all of this prestige, after all of this status, then you know you are put aside. And he said that this is the least. The highest is, please mute yourself, everybody. And the highest or the worst of all these risks that come with leadership is transgression. Abuse of power. And in the middle is wasting times if the person doesn't have a good niyyah. So he gives 3 levels of risks. The lowest level of risk, that you are going to lose this authority one day and you become depressed and you become nobody. And that will affect your nafs. After that desire and after that power and after all of that, then suddenly you are nobody. And that happens when the election cycle, finishes, the position finishes, the term finishes. And then the person is nobody after everybody was listening to, if you say do this and don't do that, and they were looked up to as the leader, then they are nobody suddenly. It affects them and it might affect actually their livelihood and their ibadah and everything. And that's the least that can happen to someone. What is the worst that can happen once you become a leader is that you transgress others. You are not carrying the amana and responsibility the way you should be carried for the sake of Allah. And in the middle, with variant levels, the issue of wasting the time. You don't have a niyyah. You don't have a good intention. Why are you doing what you're doing as a leader or as a president or for an organization or as a leader? Why are you doing what you're doing? If the niyyah is not there, you might actually waste good deeds. You might actually wasting time. If a person has the need to rest, for example, take a couple of hours of sleep or go for a vacation just to focus a little bit more and come back fresh to manage the affairs of people, that's a good niyyah. So you are doing that vacation or the time off to relax or to rest so you can do your job better. That's a good need. But if you don't do that, then it becomes like also a waste of the time and responsibility. The Ibn Jawzi said that for a person who loves to be a leader, then he says that, you know, everybody who likes it, they like from how it looks from outside. But when he sees it from inside, then he won't know. Always, he said that anybody who wants something, you know that this is going to have an end. It's either going to leave you or you're going to leave it. So you can understand it that way. As we said with the money and the, you know, men looking at women and women looking at men and all of that, that you know, your lust or your desire, you want that something because you don't have it. You just see the brightness of it. You see the allurement of it from outside. But once you have it, it becomes like, you know, like everything else. And then your desire for it or your lust for it will diminish. And that goes for everything. I like this watch. While it is there and I could not afford it, it is something that I'm desiring. Once I afford it, I'm desiring to buy it, and I'll go spend the money to buy it. Once I buy it and it's in my hand now, that desire goes down for sure, 100% sure. It depreciates. It's like a car. You drive a car out of the dealership, it became a used car. Put 1 mile on it. It's a used car. 1 mile, 10 mile, 100 miles. Yeah, the technicalities will differ how many miles, but it's a used car. It's not brand new anymore. So now you're driving a used car. Now you're having ownership of that. So it loses that desire. And then over time, when you're using it, you start looking at something else, something better. So once you think like that, whenever you desire something, you say, after a while, it's going to go away. So what am I actually looking for? Temporary enjoyment? Temporary enjoyment? It's like a child. A child goes to the toy store and you watch what the children do. Oh my God, this is the toy I want. And you watch them. And then their eye will go to the next toy. They'll throw this one or not even bother about putting it back where. So it does not have that attraction anymore. Then they go to the next one and the next one and then the next tile and then the next tile. And maybe they will end up buying something that they did not even like from the beginning. Same thing for a human being, for the adults, the same thing. I like this, I like this. And you have it and it's, oh man, this is my dream car. Now you're driving your dream car. Oh, you're happy, you're good, you're proud and all of that. But after a while, now you have the dream car, but your eye is looking at the other cars that you do not have. You might have another dream car now. So I said that before you look over anything, the dunya, and then you indulge in this thinking and this dream, know that it's going to become normal later on. And one of those is the leadership in the affairs of dunya, to lead others. So ladha tazul, the lust will diminish and will go away. والأوزار تبقى, but the sins acquired because of that lust stay, unless you repent sincerely to Allah. And now the risk is, what are you putting on the line? Your soul and your religion. That's what you put on the line. You will gain some temporary lust satisfaction and desire gratification, but what remains is, if you're doing these things in haram, that's what's going to stay as a dark dot in bright clothes. Danas. It's called danas. Danas, the filth or the dirt or the impurity or the something that's not clean. So the Prophet ﷺ said, "Oh Allah, purify me with water, hail, and ice, and snow, like you prepare, like the bright white clothes is purified from dark filth or spot. It's like when you have a stain in your clothes and it's so clear it bothers you. Even the stain is so little, and you do not say, well, the whole dress or the whole shirt does not have anything. I don't bother about that small stain. No, you see, it's very tiny, small stain somewhere in your shirt or in your blouse or in your skirt or in your dress or thawb. But you do not see how small is the stain. You see the impact that that small stain did in that big dress. See, it's not whole anymore. It has a defect, even though it's little. Your soul is like that with the sin. When Nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam, he said in the hadith of Abu Umama radiallahu anhu, he said, the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wasallam said, there is no man who was given the leadership of 10 people or more, 10 people or more, except he will come Yawm al-Qiyamah, his hand is attached to him, to his neck. So his chastity or his virtue will untie him, or his sin will keep him tied and punished. The beginning of it is a blame, the middle of it is regret, and the end of it is shame in the day of judgment. That's the leadership in this dunya, unless a person does good. So that means there's an extra effort to be good. So why you want to take something that goodness becomes an extra effort? Again, why do you engage yourself in something in this dunya without need, without necessity, without any emergency? Why do you go and assume some position that will make normal good deeds hard for you to acquire? Because the responsibility, it consumes you. So it becomes, you will become a target of blame of others. Why this is, why? Because people are looking for someone responsible. Huh? And always during it, it will be regret. And at the end of it, Yawm al-Qiyamah, it will become shame and embarrassment. Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, he said that woe to those leaders or emirs, were those who are assigned or deputies of the emirs to go know the affairs of the tribe and the group or the clan. Woe to those who are entrusted. In the day of judgment, people would wish that they're hanging from their hair and the stars better than just being responsible about someone. Miserliness also is a bad thing. Miserliness is not only holding the money, because holding the money can be being reserved, frugal, spending the money only when needed. That's not bukhl, that's not miserliness. No. You saving money for your children and saving money for future, that's not miserliness. This is more of wealth management, money management. That's good. But miserliness is holding what needs to be spent. That is the bukhl. Right? That's the bukhl. That's why Allah said, you are invited to spend for the sake of Allah. Some of you are not spending. That means you are not spending the minimum required. So that means here, whatever needed to be spent, whether it is zakah or sadaqah or anything is needed, and a person holding that, that is miserliness. And a person need to spend on his spouse and his children to meet their needs, and he is holding that, that is miserliness. But if he's holding from the luxuries of life or the things unnecessary, you cannot call that person miser. That is why Abdullah ibn Umar said, whoever gives zakah is not a miser person. When Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam said there is nothing worse than miserliness. And the Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam called it like a disease. وَأَيُّ دَاءٍ أَدْوَأُ مِنَ الْبُخْلِ. What is a disease worse than miserliness, stinginess? Because like a disease, it messes up your immune system. Miserliness, it messes up manners and behaviors, and takes away happiness, because people don't like that person, and then they do not reciprocate with him, and he does not reciprocate with their needs. So there is a big drop in the relationship in the community. Where the wise people before said, Al-Karimu Hur, the generous person is free, is a free person, because he owns his money. But the miser person is a slave. Why? Because he's owned by his wealth and his money. You own your money, you can spend, and you can put, and you can do that. You have ownership on your money, you manage it the way. So you are not under the control of your money. You want to keep it. So the money makes you guard it. Once you make you get more of it. So your main concern is, what should I do for that money to stay? You become enslaved to it. But what should I do to spend more money? You control the money now. That's why we tell the children when they are driving the car, don't let the car control you, you control the car. Yani if the car is going toward the right for a reason or another in the road, or you have to bring it back. If it goes to the left, you have to bring it back and keep it in the middle. So it's always an issue of steering the car to the right direction. Otherwise, if you follow the direction of the car, you're going to make an accident for sure, because the road you are driving on is not straight. It is not the balanced. It has different, angles and different, turns and all of that. Okay. والنبي صلى الله عليه وسلم said, إياكم والشح فإن الشح أهلك من كان قبلكم. Be careful of this extreme miserliness and stinginess, because it destroyed the people before you. It ordered them to cut their kin and cut their relationship with people, because people ask you for help and then you don't want to help them. So they're not going to talk to you, then you cut them off. So the miserliness dictates that a person will not have good relationship with others. And it, it make them, they became miser, and then they disobeyed Allah and corrupted the earth. When Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam said that there are two characteristics that they cannot be in, they are not supposed to be in a believer, and a person having them is not a complete believer. Al-bukhlu su'ul khuluq, bad manners and misconduct, while miser. There shouldn't be this. A person can be miser, but he can be brave, he can be good, he can deal with others in a nice way. But being miser and bad to others, that's a bad combination. Well, the word shuh is more than bukhl. Bukhl is miserliness. One type of stinginess. So shuh is like holding. You don't want to even smile in the face of people. You don't want to say a good word to them. You don't want to stay with them because you feel that you need to hold everything. But bukhl or miserliness is only in financial or material things. So bukhl is like, with money, but shuh is with manners as well. Well, some of the pious people said that, meeting with miser people, it is like a calamity for the heart of the believer. It becomes dark. There is darkness in them. What is the treatment for miserliness? You have to see that these people who do not have what you have, they are your brethren. You are a son of Adam or daughter of Adam, and he is or she is. So you are brothers in humanity, in this race. Also, you know that Allah preferred you over them and make them need you and make you assigned to help them. So look at the equation like that. It's not because Shaitan trying to convince us, oh, these people are not worthy, worthless, they are not working, they're lazy, they are dependent, you know? So why you help them out? No, but if you think about an equation like Allah is the one who make me rich, Allah is the one who make me better than them, and Allah is the one who put them in need to me, in need for me. And Allah assigned me and trusted me to help them out. So it's an honor from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So thanking him or being grateful to him is to help others. And then also look at the honor of generosity. And always people, you can own their hearts by doing generous acts. But if you become miser, everybody criticizes you. Everybody sees how much money he has, but he doesn't give and all of that. And you will leave that in one day. Someone, Sayyidina Ali ibn Abi Talib, Sayyidina Ali said that I am wondering about the affair of the miser. I'm wondering about the affairs of the miser, and I'm amazed at it. What is amazing? That he runs behind wealth, but the wealth runs away from him. And he runs away from poverty, but poverty catches up with him. He lives in this dunya as a poor person, the life of a poor person, and he'll be accounted in the day of judgment as a wealthy person. What does that mean? It means that the person who's miser, he's miser with what? With money. So he has the money. And he's running behind the money. Why you run behind the money? To become rich. So you don't need people. But he ends up what? Being poor, because he's not spending the money that he ran behind. And he runs away from poverty. But look at you, look at your life. You're living like a poor person. That's why I said live in this dunya as a poor person, but live in the hereafter. Will be resurrected and asked in the hereafter as a rich person. The next one, next characteristic is the opposite, extravagance. And this is also ordered by the desire. The desire dictates it on the person. But rationalizing or intellect tells you not to be miser. Intellect tells you you have money now, how about tomorrow? Maybe you don't have, so save something for tomorrow. And the best adab for this, the best cure for this is what Allah said. Allah ordered, prohibited, وَلَا تُبَذِّرْ تَبْذِيرًا. Do not be extravagant, spending without need. And you know that sometimes in one day you get that provision of a month, and one day you get a lot of money. So if you spend that in the same day, what about the rest of the month? Maybe you don't get anything. So maybe the risk of the month came in one day, but it is for a month. You're not going to get anything for a month. So if you say this came for the day and you spend it in the day, so what happens for the rest of the month? Now, so you have to always plan for the future. But if you have extra and you want to give, alhamdulillah, no problem. How you treat this extravagance, always thinking about the repercussions. Think about the ramification of spending. Think about what is going to happen as a result. When I spend that money, how do I look like? Where I'm sitting? What if something comes important, or somebody gets sick, or I get an accident, or someone needs money? What I'm going to do if I don't have? I have it now. If anybody asks me, I'll help them solve their problem now. But what if I spend it and I stay tomorrow without it? This becomes a problem. So I have to look into the results. Right. Now Ibn al-Jawzi said, what is the level of earning and spending? Like, what is a good level? What's acceptable? He's saying, subhanallah, yani, anybody who's sane, he should earn more than he needs. SubhanAllah, that's basic accounting, by the way. They say you have assets and you have liabilities. Assets, what's coming in your pocket. Liabilities is what's coming out of your pocket. That's basic accounting now. Basic financial literacy. Assets, liabilities. If your assets and the liabilities are equal, means you are not going anywhere. You are getting and you are spending it. So at the end of the month, you break even, means you're not going anywhere. You're not improving financially. Type. What if your liabilities are more than your assets? You're living beyond your means. And that's what people have credit card and all that. They're accumulating. They think that plastic thing has the magic power of money that it's thrown everywhere. Okay. So living beyond your means, and you're going to end up being in debt more and more and more and more. That's why people said, give me, I need a loan. Okay, here is a loan. And then come next month to pay the loan, you don't, because still you're living beyond your means, because the loan now is doubled and you cannot return the first one. Then you go to the third one. Then you go to another person who could try to get a loan. So digging yourself deeper and deeper and deeper. What if your income is more than your liabilities? That's good. So now you are a person who is going to be saving because you meet your needs and there is some money there. So aql, sanity, actually, this is third scenario is a good scenario. Nothing wrong in that. Why? Because that things happen. What if I get a flat tire? What if, Allah forbid, I get sick, or someone loved one or a member of my family gets sick? What should I do? Oh, I have insurance. Okay. So you're paying for the insurance? What about the copay? What about the deductible and all of that? So you have to have a plan for these things that can happen as an emergency. Right? Also, I have to know that maybe I cannot earn anymore. What if I don't earn anymore? What if in this market or this economy, I get laid off or I get fired? What should I do then? Okay. So from the saving, you can survive until you find the other option or other alternative. It gives you a time to reflect and ponder. And always have for the extra, because now you will get married, for example. So somebody who's not married, so saving money, so when marriage comes, now you get married, saving money so when a child comes. And when a child gets older, we all do that. And there's nothing wrong about having savings. Actually, it is required. It is good. The problem is that you live beyond your means, or you spend from those things that you need. Then you become like in debt and so on. So a person has to look at the results. Right? Have to look at the results. So you have to know that always you spend less than what you earn. So you can have money that's calming you down and you can do good things with it. So if I have extra money and the sadaqah opportunity comes, I know I can give some of that. One of my children needs something, I know I can get that. Somebody needs help, I know because I have it, I'm having that. So always the aqil needs to earn more than they spend. Right? Some of the narrations said that Abu Darda, anhu, he said that it is out of somebody's true understanding is that they are always planning their livelihood ahead. They're planning ahead their livelihood. Next thing here Ibn al-Jawzi mentioned is dhammul kadhib, the disliking of lying, dhammul kadhib. Also kadhib. Why a person lie? because they desire to do that to save themselves from something, or to mock someone, or to hide something from someone. So it's a desire there. It's coming because of a desire to do it. How you treat the lying, this lying, how you treat it. You treat it by knowing what is the punishment of a liar. And you have to know that the more of lying, the darker the heart becomes, and the bad impact and result it is on your own life and your own soul, your own heart. And sometimes it becomes so late that you cannot fix. There will be no embarrassment from one's own self. And when people discover, they'll despise that person. Even when he says the truth, nobody will believe. Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam said a person would say the truth, and will keep saying the truth until he will be written in front of Allah as a Siddiq, a truthful person. And a person would lie and look for lies until he becomes a master of lies, كذاب. Well, Abdullah ibn Mas'ud, he said, all this negative character can happen for a Muslim except betrayal and lying. الكذب والخيانة، الخيانة والكذب. Then we come to a major bad manner or characteristics, which is al-hasad, envy. Al-hasad is to wish to be like someone, or to wish for the thing which is in the head of someone that you don't have to leave them and come to you, or wish for whatever in their hand to be destroyed, even if it doesn't come to you. Those are the three levels of hasad. All of them very bad, but they differ in their intensity, though, and the punishment for it. But the concept is there. It is a problem. So hasad. Why a person would do envy? Because everybody wants to be distinguished. Everybody wants to be better than others, or he does not want people to be better than him. If he let them to be equal, sometimes it's okay, but in their heart they want to eliminate all the competition. Why a person envy? Because they want something and they know that they cannot have it. So it's better not to have it inside, even with someone. If I don't have it, you don't have it, kind of deal. That is the worst type of hasad. Okay. So sometimes you have that in your heart, but don't show it, don't speak about it, don't act upon it. Well, al-hasad makes a person not sleep good at night and not enjoy their day, and don't eat good, and their manners or demeanor or their mood is always messed up. It's not good. So one Arabi, one Bedouin, one time, he lived 120 years. They told him, how come did you live this long? So he said, I left hasad, so I stayed. I am not envying anybody for something that they have and I don't. Only hasad will happen in the affairs of the dunya. That's why Allah invited it to it in the affairs of the akhirah. The Prophet ﷺ said, if you like someone, invite them or go pray behind them. Okay. Then you will know. You go pray behind them and you will know. So you will see how these people will have hasad to you or not. You pray behind them, they pray behind you. You teach them, they teach you. you deal with them. You say salam to them, they say salam to you. And they see how the reciprocating going. That they will have hasad to you or not. Okay? So hasad makes people like not enjoy life. Not enjoy life. So also, you find people making hasad in the affairs of the dunya, but they don't make hasad for somebody doing qiyam al-layl or fasting Mondays. Oh, he's nice, he's good. So you don't wish to be like him? You don't want that thing to come to you? Huh? You don't want that knowledge of the alim to come to you and you become like that? Now, they are envying them for the people loving them, for the benefit that people having from them, for their fame, for their name, for their reputation. Hasad is there. How we treat this hasad, you have to know that this is a qadr of Allah and it's already written. That person is rich, Allah wrote him to be rich. If you are poor, Allah wrote him to you. So to believe in the qadr is the major treatment from hasad. Believing in the qadr of Allah. That who made that person having something that you don't have? Allah Azza wa Jalla. It's not like they got it in their own or something. Also have to know, excuse me? Also have to know that it's impossible to change the qadr of Allah Azza wa Jalla. It's not in your hand. It's not in my hand. To know that Allah has hikmah in his division. And Allah Azza wa Jalla qassama wal qassamu subhanahu wa ta'ala hakim. He has hikmah, wisdom, subhanahu wa ta'ala. And also Allah is the owner. He gives whomever he wishes and he deprives whomever he wishes. Okay. So Allah is the one who created everything. Allah is the one who creates the generous person. Allah is the one who created the miser person. Allah is the one who created the poor person. So why you envy someone that Allah decided for them to become like that? You look to Allah Azza wa Jalla and say, Allah, you have the hikmah. Please, Allah, give me such and such. That's fine. But don't envy people because now you are objecting to the will and the qadr of Allah. That's why some of the poets said, if you are envying me, you know whom you are having misconduct with? You have misconduct with Allah Azza wa Jal because He's the one who give me what you are not pleased with. Allah Azza wa Jal will increase my wealth and Allah will close those doors for you because you're objecting to Him subhanahu wa ta'ala. Please mute yourself, sisters, because I'm hearing something in the background. Also, it is not going to decrease the risk of anybody, whether the envious person or the person who's envied. So person have to have mercy on others. Alhamdulillah, Allah gives them that. You do not know what Allah is testing them with. You don't. So you have to believe in Allah's qadr subhanahu wa ta'ala. Also, you know that when a person has lots of money, he has to figure ways to protect that money. Who have wealth, he has to have ways to protect wealth. Anybody who have assets will spend most of his life trying to protect those assets. And every ni'mah, every favor that comes, it comes with its pros and cons. It comes with, it's a package. It comes with, like a person has money, now you have to pay taxes. You never knew you have to pay taxes. You get credit from tax. Now you have to pay the taxes. You have to be accurate about it. You have to help others, your employees, you're helping them with their livelihood. And it's not a happy position to be in. And everybody's afraid to lose that. So why you wish for something that you'll spend the rest of your life being afraid to lose it? Okay, and everything comes from Allah Azza wa Jalla, as we mentioned. And people look from outside. They think that all those rich people, they are in pure enjoyment. They're not. Sometimes they are in pure misery, actually. Enjoyment is a relative thing, a relative feeling. And also, to save yourself from that disease, to hold your tongue from talking about people negatively. Try to talk positive, try to make dua for them. So minimize that feeling to the heart. And whenever you talk nicely and with wisdom. There are many hadith that disliking al-hasad, like the hadith of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam, hadith of Zubair ibn al-Awwam radiallahu anhu, that the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wasallam said, دَبَّ إِلَيْكُمْ دَاءُ الْأُمَمِ قَبْلُكُمْ. The disease of the nations before has seeped into your life as well. Talking to the Muslim. Al-hasadu wal-baghdha, envy and grudge and hatred of each other. Wal-baghdha hiya al-haliqa, and hatred of each other is like the shaver. I do not say it shaves the hair, it shaves actually the religion. By the one who, the soul of Muhammad in whose hand, by the one in whose hand is the soul of Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, you will not believe, you will not be complete believers unless you love each other. And do you want me to tell you something that if you do, you love each other? It is diffusing and distributing salam among you, saying assalamu alaikum. Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, he said there is no hasad except in two things. A person that Allah Azza wa Jalla gave Quran, so he's reciting with it at night and during the day. And a person that Allah provided with money, so he's spending it in goodness during the night and during the day. And this hadith in Bukhari and Muslim. Inshallah, next time we talk about al-hiqd or grudge or hatred. There's a difference between al-hasad and al-hiqd. Al-hiqd has hatred without involving any ni'mah or anything like that. You hate the person himself. Have a grudge toward the person himself. You don't want that person to enjoy anything. But al-hasad, you are envying them for a specific thing. We'll talk about that next time, inshallah. Sallallahu alaihi wa baraka ala sayyidina Muhammad. Alhamdulillah. Jazakumullah khairan. Any question, inshallah?
Assalamu alaikum, Sheikh.
Salam.
So I have a question about a person about the income, when you said that people have to count for whatever can happen later that they don't account for in the present, and you stated the three categories when your means are less than what you need, and or they're similar or they're more. Of course, everybody want to have more so they can take care of things and they can save. But what would a person do if his means are less than what he can afford, and he states that he cannot do more than that? What would he do? Is there any formula? Is there any clue what he can do to improve that?
Yeah. Well, there are two things in this case here. One is the person's ability. Number two, the resources that they can go to. Means, taking al-asbab. So is the problem that they themselves have? Because sometimes the person is lazy. He does not have the ambition. He does not want to work harder to get money. Like sometimes, not everybody can spend less time and get more money. أقدار من عند الله عز وجل. Somebody can work an hour and he gets more money than the person gets in a month. But that's not the default. The default is that people are average. Now, that person who's up is up normality, and the person who is down is abnormality. Abnormality means it is either because they have something missing that they need to work on, or they did their best, but they still don't have. So we have to ask ourselves that question first. So when a person that their income or their earning is less than their needs, they have to ask themselves first, am I utilizing what Allah provided me with? I have 10 kids and all of them can work, but all of them are sleeping at home waiting for me to work for them. And I am doing my best and I cannot. So now I have to fix that. Either you're gonna work and help me out or you get out. So you relieve me, or I can help you the younger ones. So you prioritize. So it's something that you have. Or the person, it's not the issue of children, the issue of that they do not have the drive to work. Then they need advice or counseling for that. Like how to get a drive to work. What is your skill? Maybe they're working in a job that they don't like. Then we advise them to go for what they like, and so on and so forth. So they need counseling to make sure that you are actually using what Allah provided you with, as intelligence, as health, as family, as children. You know, this is work on it. You already exhausted all of this. Then you have to look for the resources. Then do you deserve zakah? Then the community is obligated to give you from the zakat. Can you take a loan and work hard to improve yourself? You need a trade, but you don't know from where to start. Then you can get some financial advice and you can make a plan and get a loan and then work with it and then return that loan later on. Can you partner with somebody? You have a good idea, but you need investors, or you can partner with somebody or work for somebody, and so on. So there's two things that you have to work on. This is the clue. This is the way. You have to look around you, and most likely, from my experience, most likely it is within the person himself. In Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, a person come to him and said, Ya Rasulullah, I don't have money and I don't have this, I don't have that. He said, go bring your furniture. Bring your furniture here. So he went and brought the pottery thing and 3-4 things, like it doesn't have anything. And the Rasul Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam auctioned it for him. عمل عليها مزاد, he auctioned it for him. And the person who offered the highest bid, the Prophet sold it on behalf of the man or the Sahabi to that person. And the Prophet could have got donation for him, but he wanted to show him like how to invest. He could say, Abdurrahman ibn Auf, give me 1,000 dinar. Ya Osman, give me here you go. And the man goes and eats with them, and then after a couple of months, he will come back again. So what the Prophet did, he taught him how to fish. He said, you sell what you have, even though it's a little. And he said, go buy some rope, and I don't want you to see you for a week or two. Then he go cut some wood and all that. And he said, go cut some wood and sell it and come back. So he comes back after that. The man has money. I made money, Rasulullah. I bought groceries for my house and I have extra money and all of that. The Sahaba used to not having money at all. We're not talking about someone now, their means are, their income is less than, no, they don't have, period. And then they will go work, carry people's groceries in the market or carry people's things. يشتغل حمال And then, they take it and they get 2 dirham. They buy food for 1 dirham and they give 1 dirham sadaqah because they know the importance of sadaqah. The financial advice you can get. So most of the time, if a person is healthy, have a good physical health, have time, I think they have what it takes to work. Now, if they worked and still, then there's a second step now. They have to look in the resources. Wallahu a'lam.
جزاك الله خيرا.
Type Sister Siti, inshallah, you send me the audio so I can send the summaries, inshallah.
inshallah, Sheikh. جزاكم الله خير.
وجزاكم الله بارك فيكم جميعا. Inshallah, tonight we'll have Surah An-Nur and I will post it, inshallah, in Surah An-Nur group. Okay? So as far as the community, education was Dr. Mamdouh. So choose the group that you are interested in. Just the whole idea is not to have your name in all groups. No, choose the group that you are, it is relevant to you. That's number one. Number two, that by entering a group, you promise to be dedicated to benefit from it and to do what needs to be done. So number one, it is relevant to you. You need it. Number two, you dedicate and be sincere and be consistent. And number three, whenever something needed, you should do. Because there'll be assignment, there'll be needed things, there'll be guidance there. I don't want people to be in my groups without impacting others. It's like I'm giving you so you can impact the community that I cannot reach. Okay. So that becomes a صدقة جارية and علم ينتفع به, and the beneficial knowledge that people will benefit from, and the continuous charity. And I want you to be part of this, inshallah. Right? 2 new messages. Let me take a look at them. How to differentiate between hasad and anger against someone. Anger may lead to hasad, may not. Yani, I am angry at you because you said something bad to me in the morning, or you did not say anything in the morning and I was expecting you to say hi or good morning. So I'm angry, and I am angry because I like the person or I love the person, and I'm angry because they did not do what they're supposed to do. They did not fulfill their duty. They misbehaved with somebody. You're angry at them. But hasad is like because they have a privilege that you don't have. So not, يعني every person who have hasad has anger, but not every person who have anger have hasad. I hope that makes it easier to understand. يعني. Not everybody who have an anger problem is jealous or envious, but everybody envious. There is an inherent internal, embedded, integrated anger there. They're angry at themselves. They're angry why people have what I don't have. They're angry. So every person who have hasad have anger within them, to a level or another, but not every person who's angry necessarily is a hasad. The Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam got angry at some of the Sahaba when they did something they were not supposed to do. Okay.